spirit I'm growling.
Yeah. So we're going to cover Magnus's next couple of big losses in the incoming episodes, but they're coming up. So but that's also what Brad was just talking about there is important. This is also a big inflection point for Horus. Horus now is committed to the revolution.
Well, this is the thing, that Horus is an arc here, because he was I can't say on winning palm because he's got so many times he could turn back.
Yeah.
So it's a tragic story, but it's also hey man, here's these 15 different, you could have got off the bad guy expressway at these 15 exits, and you decided not to.
Sped up.
Yeah. So you were prideful. You also were convinced that you are better than the Emperor in ruling. You will make the Imperium better, and the entire time he's being infused with power. So not only am I agree with you guys, I am going to be better, but also I'm clearly stronger, faster. I have new powers. Of course, this is the right decision. And he effectively does what most tyrants do in books and real life. Says, I'm going to have to do bad things, but
it's for the greater
good.
Now he's on the path. He's made his decision. I'm going to kill my dad. I'm going to Earth. We're overthrowing this empire. But he's still not ready to go yet. He's got
doesn't have enough of his brothers.
He's got a couple of his brothers on his side. But the other problem he has is that even within his own legion, and other legions,
it's all the legions he's gotten so far. This is a big thing because they do it. Everybody that is corrupted is told in different.
Mm-hmm.
He convinces them in different ways. It's all different. It's the same message, worded differently, which is you gotta get everybody on board, and wink, wink. If they're not on board, you gotta do something about that.
So Horus then realizes that it's on him to do this something. And what he's going to have to do to make this revolution work is he has to have everyone unified. He's got to purge legions. He's going to have to go through and figure out who's loyal, who's not loyal. This goes back to the warrior lodges. Thanks to the warrior lodges, they know. They actually they've got their list of loyal, not loyal, question mark.
Poor Garvin.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. We're going to cover flight. He's in steam. We'll get enunciations later. And the best way to do it is to let it trap. Because Horus loves a good trap. That's what you kind of see throughout a lot of this.
He makes a bad decision. He is wildly tactical brilliant.
In every story we hear about Horus, he's an incredible tactician. And so he decides that he's going to send a trap. At that point, we're going to conclude this episode because the next one is going to be the opening of the rebellion. At this point, Magnus knows, Horus knows, but not a lot of other people. And he's about to make sure everyone knows. Once again, I am John Barsadi. This is Brad Chester. Thank you for listening, and we look forward to you joining us on our next cast.
Nyfødt, nygift, forskellige temaer, der nemt kan tilmelde dig for en med temaer, dig til. Klar til at lancere din virksomhed? Det skal spare dig tid.
Bil for penge. Du kan nemlig spare helt op til 30.000 kroner på det.
På hverdagen. Undgå.
Welcome to the 40K Lorecast.
Welcome to 40K Lorecast with me, John Barsadi, and of course, Brad Chester.
This guy.
All right, so Brad, heresy is written. Where are we today?
We've got Horus, fully corrupted, determined to do anything for the greater good. He's going to do any bad act. Betraying his brothers is now okay. We've got 3
Horus plus 3. So Horus plus 6.
Horus plus 3.
Yeah.
They're plotting on how they're going to get more, but they're also plotting on how they're going to get rid of anybody that's not loyal to him specifically in the legions. So effectively, he only wants the people that are corrupted, but it's more the people that are only willing to do anything that their Primarch says. He wants to weed it out to have only the most fanatical, because they're going to do some bad shit, and they're going to really rationalize the crap out of it. They're basically saying, well, we have to do this horrible thing, and then we're going to do the next horrible thing. And they got to have people that are willing to rationalize their terrible behaviors, or in the case of the World Eaters, just tell them to do stuff, because they were already going to do some terrible shit.
World Eaters are going to World Eater.
Yeah. They were, we want you to do this. Oh, that's too far.
You're already doing it?
Yeah.
All right, well, do you want any direction? No.
No.
You're cool.
Oh, cool.
All right.
You guys are going to murder people already? Cool.
Good on you. So we're going to start here with Istvan 3. This is what I was just talking about. Horus needs to purge his legions. We've got a certain number of... So the one interesting thing about this is that the legions come from multiple places originally. Once the Primarchs were discovered and they began conquering planets, they built their own little sections of the galaxy that their space marines would come from. But initially, a lot of them actually came from Terra. And a lot of them were actually, the Emperor found them, infused them with the Primarch's gene seed, and then made them part of the Legion. Those soldiers are exceptionally loyal to the Emperor and Terra. So we got a little bit of a challenge here. So as Horus or as Fulgrim or Mortarion, as a leader, I have to get these guys out of my army. Because if I go and say I'm gonna go attack the Empire, then all of a sudden, like, the captain of one of my spaceships might not be loyal to me, and he might fly this spaceship into the sun, or warn Dad.
Or worse,
Yeah.
go back and warn Dad, or be a ship that I have to, even best case scenario, be a ship that I have to fight now.
So what Horus realizes is that he's got a clever plan. He does this a lot. And really, Horus is one of the better tacticians in the stories of 40K. I think Gilliman's better, but more so as Gilliman shows up to be...
He's bureaucracy, but he's also bureaucracy.
Yeah, sure, fair enough. What he decides to do is that this world Istvan 3, he tells everyone is in rebellion against the Empire.
Which, by the way, the Istvan system is going to be bad news bears for everyone. But
yeah. So, I mean, Bradley put, was Istvan 3 in rebellion to the Emperor?
Absolutely not.
What he does is he said, we're going to attack it, and then handpicks who's going down. And it is all of what we'll begin referring to now as the Loyalists. And all the Loyalists are sent down.
And the thing is that in this, though, there is members of the Lodges.
Mm-hmm.
They go down there, and they kind of start figuring out, hey, man, everybody's been acting real funky lately. And they start figuring out, hey, I've been really, ostracized by the guys that used to be my closest of my brothers. We never had anything. We shared everything, and all of a sudden I'm not invited, or there was a meeting, and weirdly enough, I didn't get to go to that one. And now I'm going on this very fishy expedition. Yeah.
To go kill a populace. But they do it, and they go down there, and they slaughter the people of Istvan. And kill...
because they did not have defense.
There's no defenses, and they didn't know they were coming, and they also were like, we didn't do anything wrong. What's happening? So they begin fighting through, and this is the moment. And now, just as they win, Horus decides to eliminate all of his opposition from orbit with...
Fire spawn. Well, he basically sends down nukes plus.
The World Eater virus.
It legitimately kills all organic on the planet. It's when you want to use the planet later and you've got terraforming, so you don't care, and you just want to make sure nobody's left there.
Well, it melts all of the organic matter and turns it to methane, which it then lights on fire. And so what you get is this thing, first every living thing dies, and then the entire planet explodes into a ball of fire.
I mean, that's not optimum.
Yeah, I mean, it's efficient, but now we're in one of the cooler parts of the story, which is, as with all good stories, the good guys have a play. And so 2 players here, Salt Tarbits and
Garo.
So Tarvitz is from Emperor's Children, so Fulgrim's army.
The perfectionist, how about this? The vain one.
The vain one. And Garrow is from Death Guard, so Mortarian's army. And I believe Garrow, Garrow was a loyalist, but couldn't be sent down because he had to get a cybernetic implant in his leg.
And he finds out kind of by chance, to be perfectly honest. He had some pretty big plot armor in this book, actually. But
Garrow's cool.
Garrow is fantastic because Garrow has, as well as a lot of the Death Guard, they have a very strict moral code. What they want to do, because of the fact that Mortarian originally came from a planet that had tyrannical rulers, so he was very against the bully, the tyrant. So he taught his legion to be against that, which Garrow is very, very big. To be honest with you, I completely forgot his first name. I just know he's Garrow. So Nathaniel Garrow.
That's Garrow. And Tarvitz. So these two, actually together, they're friends. And so even though they're from different
legions, but the legions used to fight together all the time. I don't know if we've done a good enough job about that. I apologize for that. But the legions consistently were doing joint operations all the time.
Well, and because that was the purpose. This is why the Emperor made them with different positive attributes. So each of them excelled in different areas. And it was designed not to make them all independent bodies, but actually to make it so, well, whatever we're fighting, if we have to go fight someone who's got very good defenses, we're going to bring the Iron Warriors. If we have someone who just has a lot of bodies we have to get through, we're bringing Angron. But usually you wouldn't just have one, you'd have multiple. So maybe we would bring the Iron Warriors to break the defenses, then Angron to go through it and do the pieces. This is how these guys all fought. The Death Guard were a really cool army because they were very controlled. They moved
infantry
methodically and methodically move forward. They would take land, conquer land. And you could imagine partnering them with some like an Emperor's Children who are a perfectionist, they had artillery and all these things, or you partner them up with the Blood Angels, whoever, to make a combo that's
combined. It's combined armed forces.
It's unbeatable. So these two, Tarvitz and Garrow, discover not only kind of in a rather a whirlwind of events, discover chaos exists, kind of. So our Primarchs we've been worshiping have turned against the Emperor. They want to kill the Emperor, but before that, they want to kill a bunch of our brothers on a fake mission